Peace be with you. This is Brother Zali, founder of the Zeb Tepe Institute, and I'm in front of magnificent Dunleaf Park, and I just come out to share a little word, right? I just got finished taking a nice long walk around the park, so I'm a little sweaty and worked up a little bit, but we need that. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Imam Elijah Muhammad blessed us by trying to introduce us to what he called a theology of time, and being a person that pursued that teaching, I believe that, man, he really blessed us with something, right? But anyway, right, he introduced us to the 26,000 year period, which in most of the religions, the old ancient systems anyway, they refer to it as the great year, 26,000 year period. And during the course of it, you would have four, I guess what you call pole changes that were periods of 6,000 years apiece, and 12 2,160 year periods of time that he called ages. So I'm going back now to our stories in the Bible and the biblical scriptures about Jesus and the line of prophets, right? And I want to go back to keeping in mind that our age is 2,160 years, and that we're coming at the end of an age, the fullness of time. And the age that we're coming to the end of right now is also the end of a 6,000 year period where a particular pole star influenced the electromagnetic field of our planet and all life that exists in it, right? But anyway, right, prior to that, the last age, which would have been going back 2,160 years before that, there were some teachings that were out there, and if you want to know about Jesus and about the teachings that are in the Bible, you have to go back and look at some of them scriptures that was going on during that period. So you'll find the Nag Hammadi Library, you'll find the Dead Sea Scrolls, you'll find the Book of Thomas, you'll find the, what's the other one, the Book of Enoch, and the symbolism, the mythology, and history, and all those parts will help enlighten you about what we have in this teaching that we call Christianity. Now, Jesus, they talk about, he had a group of followers that were called the people of the way. And one of the concepts of ancient Egypt was that in a certain time, if there certain types of activity, the way would be open for them, because that would be what the time is expressing based on the energies of the electromagnetic field and the alignments that are taking place. So I'm trying to bring you to around 300 or so, I guess what they call AD, or what they talk about after Christ, right? When somebody called the Council of Nicene put together the doctrine and the scripture, or the books that will become part of the canons of the Holy Catholic Church. So that was the foundation of the mind that's in this world and this dispensation and this age. Now, the point I'm trying to get to is that the Council of Nicene, when they got these teachings, they had to do it because during that period prior to that, there was a dominant image of God. And that image was the concept and the image of what we call Melchizedek. If you go back in scripture, you'll find that Enoch comes down to Melchizedek. And Melchizedek was King of Kings, Lord of Lords. He was the teacher of righteousness that existed in that time. In order for the Holy Catholic Church to really take over the mind of the world, they had to destroy that. So that's when they came with Jesus. If you even study Paul, you'll see that Paul argues that Jesus was a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. But anyway, right, I'm trying to get to the point that the Council of Nicene, they produced this doctrine that they call Christianity and put the canons together, what we call the Bible. And the damage that they did is something that needs a little bit of further explanation. They brought into the world a belief system that man was born in sin and shaped in iniquity. And by doing that, that foundational thought set up a barrier between the people of God and God himself. They may have been born in sin and shaped in iniquity. You can see their history, and it speaks volumes of whatever it is you want, a conclusion you want to come to. But the people that was already in the earth, they had a system that produced society that lasts thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So they might not have been as I guess, savage and uncivilized as people might want to try to portray. But once again, the point is, the mind that is separated from God came from that teaching of the Holy Catholic Church. And what they did was made everybody else, think about it, the God that they described is a menacing God. He's a God that destroys people because they don't stand to a certain level. You know what I'm saying? So not only is God a mystery to the people of the world, but he is also seen as a menacing force that is destructive, that create fear, not the kind of fear that you would have of a benevolent spirit, but that of a menacing spirit. Okay? All right, so this mind that's in us now is separated from God. And it sees itself as an adversary to everything and every other people that exists. That's the mind we got in us now. And that's the one that has to be transformed. Now, I've been on a mission, to some extent, to try to help people understand that using diaphragmatic breathing and attaining what you call the trance state of actually reaching maybe 3 to down to 1 breath a minute, that you can get in a state of mind where you can clearly hold images in your mind, and you can do a lot of spiritual work if you can do that. But we'll get into that as we go along, right? But we have to be reconnected with God. And through trance, you'll begin to connect with God, and God will begin to communicate with you. And check this out. When that begins to happen, you won't be operating out of faith anymore. You will know yourself in the same way that Adam knew Eve. That, you will have a experiential knowledge of self, not hearsay. I just want up at off of Newcastle Avenue at the Star Center. I think it's 3125. It's a new restaurant there called Lula's. We're going to run a 10-week workshop there on Tuesday nights from 6:30 to 7:30. If you're interested in this type of subject matter, come on out and join us, and we would love to have you, and we're going to get down. Thank you for listening, Brother Salih. Peace be with you.